Hey everyone! If you're the one tasked with designing and defending your company's digital landscape, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the security architecture of CyberArk Privilege Cloud. We're going to take it apart piece by piece so you can really understand how it guards your most valuable digital assets. So let me ask you this. How do you, as a security architect, build a true fortress around your organization's most critical digital keys? We're not just talking about passwords here. We're talking about the keys to the entire kingdom, the privileged credentials that give you control over everything. And the real challenge isn't just storing them, right? It's about building this impenetrable fortress around them. That's the exact analogy we're going to use today as we break this all down. All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll talk about the big picture promise of Privilege Cloud. Then we're going to go deep inside the digital vault itself. After that, we'll look at how you securely connect your own environment to it. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of controlling who and what gets access. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by looking at the shared security partnership that really makes this entire system tick. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Privileged Cloud Promise. The main idea here is pretty simple. Take all the complexity of managing privileged access and deliver it as a secure, easy-to-consume service. So what is it really? Well, it's a SaaS, or software as a service, solution for privileged access management. Now, for you, the architect, the big win here is that it takes the heavy lifting, all the patching and the uptime worries, the scaling off your plate. That frees you up to focus on what really matters, the security policies. And you get to do it all on a service that's already hit major compliance goals like SOC 2 Type 2. Now for Section 2, we are going inside the fortress. It's time to look at the cornerstone, the absolute heart of this whole security model, the digital vault. Look, the vault is not just some database that they've bolted some security onto. No way. You have to think of it as a purpose-built, super-hardened digital safe. It's this totally isolated server where your secrets, your access rules, and all your audit logs live. And the most important part, every single bit of data in there is locked down by multiple layers of FIPS 140-2 compliant encryption. And this is how that multi-layered approach actually works. It's not just one lock on the door. So, step 1, a new secret gets created. Instantly, as you see in step 2, it's encrypted with its very own unique AES 256 key. But, and this is the genius part, in step 3, that key gets encrypted again by a completely different key, a customer-managed key that lives in AWS CAMS. That's called envelope encryption. It means any attacker has to somehow break 2 separate hierarchical keys to get to your data. That is a seriously powerful defense. And it goes way beyond just encryption. CyberArk is obsessive about reducing the attack surface. The Vault's operating system is hardened to military-grade specs, turning off every single service that isn't absolutely essential and locking down access to the file system. And check out that last point. That same automated hardening process is applied to the connector component that you run in your environment. You know, the bridge to this fortress? Yeah, that's hardened too. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3. Okay, we've got our secure fortress. Now, how in the world do we build a secure bridge from our own environment to get to it? Well, that's the job of the Privileged Cloud Connector. This is a component you deploy inside your own network. It acts as a secure reverse proxy. And this is critical for architects. It initiates all connections outbound to the Privileged Cloud. That means you don't have to open any risky inbound firewall ports into your network. This connector is also the workhorse that runs 2 other vital services, the CPM, or Central Policy Manager, which automates password changes, and the CCP, or Central Credential Provider, for application secrets. And the data flowing across that bridge, it's got double armor. First, everything is wrapped in a standard TLS WebSocket tunnel. But for the really sensitive stuff, like the credentials themselves, CyberArk adds a second layer, a proprietary protocol that uses unique session keys. It's defense in depth for your data in transit. Now, for your applications that need to pull secrets using the CCP, this gets even stronger with Mutual TLS, or MTLS. That's where both your app and the provider have to prove their identities to each other with certificates before any secrets are exchanged. All right, Section 4. We are securely connected. We are inside the fortress. So now we need to talk about the rules of the realm. Who or what gets to do what? It's time for access control. All of the access policies are managed right through the web portal, which you'll often hear called the PVWA, or Password Vault Web Access. This is your command center, the human interface, and the core building block here is something called a safe. Just think of a safe as a secure box for a bunch of related credentials. You'll apply all your access rules directly to that box, which gives you incredibly fine-grained control. And this table is a perfect example of the principle of least privilege in action. Look at the top row. You can give an auditor permission to just list accounts. They can see what exists, but they can't use it. The second row, use accounts, lets a standard user connect to a machine without ever seeing the password. Total game changer. And the last one, retrieve accounts. Now, a human admin might do this through the PVWA web portal, but the really powerful use case is for applications. Your app uses the central credential provider, the CCP, to programmatically and securely retrieve that secret, completely getting rid of hard-coded passwords in your code. And the control just keeps going deeper. See that account management bullet? That's where the central policy manager, the CPM, really shines. Remember, that's the engine running on your on-prem connector. It's the component that automatically logs into your servers, your databases, your network gear, and rotates their passwords for you, all based on the policies you set right here. You combine that with things like dual control, where you need a second person to approve access, and you have a really robust framework for enforcing policy. Okay, this brings us to our final section, and it's a big one. You have to understand that this is a shared security partnership. Security is never just one party's job. You have to draw clear lines of defense. This model lays out those lines perfectly. At the very bottom, you've got the data center provider, like AWS, handling the physical security of the buildings. Then, CyberArk is responsible for the security of the service itself. That's the platform, the encryption keys, the backups. But, and this is absolutely crucial, you, the customer, are responsible for security in the service. You control who your users are and what they are authorized to do. And a huge part of CyberArk's responsibility is just making sure the service is actually up and running when you need it. They back this with a 99.95% availability commitment, which is possible because it's built on a super resilient AWS infrastructure that spans multiple physical locations. This isn't just a security promise, it's a reliability promise. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. In today's cloud-first world, is your organization's security just an isolated outpost that you're trying to defend all by yourself? Or are you building it as a strategic alliance? Because the strongest, most resilient architectures today are always built on partnership.